Welcome back to Machine Explained, and in this session we're going to look at automating effects, both on solo instruments and on entire parts of the track. First one I'm going to do is I'm going to add a reverb with a long tail on a kick drum. So this is the part. Let me just play you this as it stands at the moment. Just play the drums on their own. And what I want to do is I'm going to take some of these drums, these kick drums out, and all of this stuff as well. And on this last kick drum, I want it to have a long tail, booming reverb. Boom, there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I add in a reverb unit, and I'm going to use my metaverb. And let's just hear that now. And we'll add that to the kick drum. So that's the kind of effect I want, a bit wild, but I don't want it all the way through all the early parts of this. So there's two ways I could do it. If you look at any controller, if you hold the knob on the outside, you'll see then appearing this controller here. And that is your automation controller, which in real time you can move around while the track is playing. Let me show you an example. Let me play it. And also, if you then hold on it, you can actually overwrite what's already been done before. So if I hold it down here, now that's all holding down. That's the first way you can do it, and that can be useful on things like pan effects. But for this, I want to get a bit more forensic. I literally want it just to play there at the very end. So first thing I'm going to do is get this drop down, and that's the output I've just been working with, and I'm going to remove it again. But instead, I'm going to add a modulator. I'm going to metaverb, and I want the mix to work. There we are, we're on mix mode. Next thing, I'm going to choose the paint. Then all I simply have to do is grab my mouse and draw in where I want this to happen. And at the same time, and if you keep going over it again and again, you can actually overwrite what you've already got. And then here, this needs to be right off. Make sure they're all drawn in as offs. So if we play that now, let's hear that. How cool is that? And you can automate as many as you want. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add that filter effect you get on a lot of dance tracks where it's very muddy to start with and then it zooms in, and it's perfect for this part of the scene. If I play you it again. So I'm going to have that coming in. So the first thing I want to do is go to a group, a spare group. And I want to come to the sound setting, and I drop down here and I go input. So that's now working as an input, and leave that on internal. The next thing I want to do is I want to group all of these guys outputs to that group. We go E input. We did the same for the bass. Output. Back to the drums again, but on group. And the hit, group, output. Now all of these are now going through that group. So if I turn that down for a second. Apart from that ambience at the end, and I want that ambience to stay clean. That now allows me on the group to come to the group and add a filter. So here's the filter I want. I want a low pass filter, no resonance. Simply want a clean filter. At the beginning of that track now on scene 6, I'm going to come to a spare pattern, and there's one. It needs to be 4 bars long. And what we want to do is we want to add a modulator, and in this case we want the filter, I want the frequency cutoff there. And if we choose paint again, we can then start determining where we're going to work from. We'll try that, try that, try that, try that. See how that sounds? And now in there is 17 drawn. Now we can hear that, and those two parts together. Let's hear that. Now we can then come to here, add 17 in, and on 17 we can actually add a modulator again onto filter and make sure the cutoff is fully open all the way through, draw it all in. So that's now clean. Let's hear those again. And the length doesn't really matter because we're just leaving it open. So wherever we want that effect to work, we just put 17 in there. So we'll come in here and we could add 18 in there. So let's hear the 4 bars and 18 in there as well. And add the 4 bars of that track and have a listen to that. Here comes the filter effect. So there we are. That's how you add automation on your tracks and get those cool effects. Thanks for watching.